Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. It's Monday Night Football and it's Chelsea against Newcastle. Some might say it's the battle for mid-table mediocrity. I would say Newcastle still have an outside chance of joining the top six party. Chelsea might even believe that themselves. I certainly think it's an interesting game because for the winner, there's a bit of momentum. For the loser, it just, compounds what has not been the season they maybe thought it was going to be. Quick Peroni bridge, says Ibas. Not on a Monday night. Not on a Monday night. I'll tell you what, I had a lovely bottle of red at the weekend. More of that later and more great chat just around the corner on That's Football. How are we all doing, though? I'm going to give you the team news as it comes in. But look, two quite strong teams going out here. They've not always been able to say that all season, have they? We're very close to kickoff, actually. We're only 2 minutes away. But Petrovic, Gusto, Destasi, Chalobah, Cucurella, Fernandez, Casido, Gallagher, Palmer, Sterling, Jackson. Look, Chelsea have had their problems, but I quite like the balance of that. And then you've got Dubravka, Livramento, Shah, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Gameres, Willock, Almiron, Isaac, Gordon. I mean, apart from Joel Linton, that's a pretty strong team for them as well. Chelsea's bench, Sanchez, Thiago Silva, Mudryk, Madueke, Chukwuemeka, Casadei, Gilchrist. Yeah, it's still not back to where I find the Lavia thing massively interesting, if I'm being honest. Yeah, massively interesting how basically he's been out all season, hasn't he? Which is remarkable. How are we all doing? It's the Saudi Arabian derby, says Lewis. And Mark, would you take Trippier to Germany? Says Abdu. I think he will go. I think he will, yeah. How can I get that top, Mark? Well, it's the Stone Roses crossover with United, isn't it? Have you noticed now, Man United do a Stone Roses collaboration. And what do Man City do? We're doing one with Oasis. They really are. They remind me of one of my friends that I used to have who basically just copy everything you do. I used to do stuff on purpose so that he'd copy it. Bad things. My dodgy Fire Stick ain't working, says Harvey. People like to copy, says Gems. I know. Bowley just wanted to spend money on Lavia for fun, says Headliner. He has been out all season though, hasn't he? Right, we're about to go here. Chelsea against Newcastle. I want to have a look at that league table, but I'm looking at when this game's going to start. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Go. What a game it was yesterday. Do not miss Goldbridge Saves Football podcast out at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I know you've probably heard and seen a lot of match reaction to the weekend. We've gone with a different angle. Really enjoyed recording it this afternoon, and there's some good stuff in there. Ramadan Kareem, Mark, and all my Muslim brothers, sisters, and as well, says Kalniak. And Kyle Walker is Michael Oliver's best friend. Did you see? I thought it was fake. Like, Kyle Walker's done an interview saying Michael Oliver did a good job. Stonewall penalty, and he should have had 2 yellow cards. Liverpool were robbed. They were robbed. Ross says, what's the downfall everyone's talking about, Mark? I think they're talking about the title race. Man City, maybe. Oh, it might be about me. I don't know. Who knows? Mount is our Lavia, says Atti. Prediction, Mark. I want to go back to that league table. How do I get it? There it is. Oof, there it is. Oof, there it is. Right, let me take that for a moment and just pause it. So, Newcastle, is that as it stands 41 points? I imagine it probably is. So they could go up to 43 with a win. In fact, I don't want to disrespect Chelsea too much. Yeah, Newcastle had 40 points before, and Chelsea have got 37 points before. Even if Chelsea win, they go level with Newcastle on 40, but their goal difference isn't good enough. So, look, if Chelsea want a late climb up the table, 11th place, they're scroll down FC. If they want up, then they've got to win, haven't they? But I don't really see Chelsea Looking at their next few fixtures. I mean, to be honest, the next 3 league games are at home. This one, Burnley, United, Sheffield United, Everton at home. They've potentially got a good run of fixtures. Chelsea. In fact, Chelsea got quite a good run of fixtures full stop. They've got this game, Burnley at home, United at home, Sheffield United away, Everton at home, Brighton away, Villa away, West Ham at home, Forest away, Bournemouth at home. So there's a few points for them there. They keep believing. Keep believing, Chelsea. It could happen. It could happen. Stephen Nesbitt, thanks for your super chat. I agree with Ajit here. He says, Mark, isn't it weird that Kyle Walker did an interview with Sky Sports about the ref the day after a game he was involved in it, Liverpool robbed? I think I don't know whether Kyle Walker's got a new album coming out, because he's done the Rio interview last week. He's been on Sky today. He was on TalkSport this afternoon. I don't get it. Like, why is a Man City right back in the middle of a really important run of games going on tour doing all these interviews? Maybe he's looking for maybe he's going to retire in the summer. I watch this then. Goldbridge predicts Kyle Walker is going to retire in the summer and go into the media. Maybe, and also he's had a few dodgy stories go out about him, hasn't he? So maybe he's doing a bit of a PR run now to prepare for a job in the media in the summer. Because there must be a reason. Oh, apparently he's launching a new foundation, says Phil. Well, there you go. He's opening a football academy in Sheffield. There you go. It makes sense now. If I took any interest in City, I'd know that. Well, you can't knock him for doing something good. Putting something back, which is what he got into trouble for in the first place, I think. But he's putting something back. Hi, Mark. I remember in January 2016, you did a video leaving the United stand. Kudos to you for your resilience and appreciate all the work you do, bro, says Yash. Thanks very much for your support. Thank you very much. Podcast is out tomorrow morning. Yes, you can get it as you wake up. Goldbridge Saves Football. Give us a follow. Can't believe these are the 2 most expensive clubs, says it's Louis. Very open start to this game, by the way. Rebecca says That's Football's the best football community. I've got to say, I mean, look, I love the United stand, but That's Football's just very different. If the United stand is Netflix, then you are Apple TV. I quite like Apple TV, actually. No, you're better than that. You're not Amazon Prime. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Keep your chin up, says Default Skin. Thank you very much. And Diaz had Walker on toast yesterday, says for him. He did. Second that, Mark. Thanks for the work you do. Thank you very much, pal. Thanks for your super chats tonight. What are the new FFP rules coming into place, says Phil Jones? I didn't even get chance. Somebody was talking to me about that on the United stand, and I didn't even get a chance to look at it. So maybe that's the morning show. Relic, when does the OnlyFans start? Well, OnlyFans was meant to be launched tomorrow, yesterday. But with all the shit, I had to put it back a week. So, all up, Mark, says Alfie. That's exactly what I was doing yesterday. Goal! Chelsea! I think Nicholas Jackson's claiming it. Cole Palmer wants it. He's got that look on his face to say, yeah, that's a fake hug. That's a fake hug. He's like, you know, when you're smiling going, yeah, well done, you can have it, you absolute prick. Nicholas Jackson has just scammed a goal here from a Cole Palmer shot. But it is a goal for Chelsea, more importantly, in this game here tonight. Let's watch this back. Not a lot of power on it. You might look at the goalkeeper here. Let's have a look. Cole Palmer. Yeah, I think keeper should do better there. Got to be honest. I'd love to know what Watto thinks. I mean, the deflection's late. Yeah, you know what it is? It might be the fact that he thinks it's going wide because the Cole Palmer shot's not going in. Nicholas Jackson, to be fair, that's a nice little bit of a flick. Definitely looks better on the replay. 1-0. Are you going to Cheltenham, Mark? No, I was expecting to go. But you know, oh, Newcastle. Well, early goal's always a good thing. I always think it's a positive. Would you take Cole Palmer to the Euros, says it's Louis. I think you sort of have to. Look, when you're going to take Calvin Phillips and Jordan Henderson, then there's not many people who don't deserve to go. Reese says you're going to put the boots back on soon. Any update or games planned? I'm penciled down to do 2. I need to add them to my diary. You've just reminded me about that. One's at Ilkeston Town and one's in Wales. I need to get out and start doing some bloody running. I'll tell you that for free. But I'll give you the details when I know, because obviously I think a lot of people will want to film that. Put your money where your mouth is, yes. I went to my first football game in Europe. The Bernabeu, says Bronzy. Love that. And Ajit says, I saw this graph, and if VAR had been used correctly, Liverpool would have 7 more points. Arsenal and Man City would both have 1 point less. Liverpool have been completely robbed this season, says Ajit. Hey, I will say this to you right now. As a Man United fan, if Liverpool don't win this league title, the league's a sham. And it's hard to say that in March, but like they definitely should have had a penalty yesterday. And we all know about the onside goal. And people start saying, wow, the kickoff against Forest was in the wrong place. It's a lot. That's not the same. That's not the same. There's a lot of if, buts and maybes with that. Stonewall penalty, Stonewall goal ruled out. I think that look, it's not my job to do it. It's not your job to do it. But Liverpool Football Club should be looking at that. If they don't win the league, it's another sham as far as I'm concerned. And also, I think it's going on at both ends. Oh, good defending that by Disasi. Could have been a great chance for Isaac. I mean, there's been a few in the relegation fight, but that the worst one of the weekend for me was that Brighton player who didn't get sent off. With 25 minutes to go, you know, that could have a massive impact on the relegation battle, because obviously Brighton went on to win that game. But that tackle by the Brighton player, some of you might not have seen it. They only gave him a yellow card. If you thought John McGinn was a red card, the Brighton player should have got 2. It was a ridiculous decision. And I think last weekend, and a lot of people talk about the Havertz one as well, I thought last weekend was absolutely, the weekend just gone, absolute shite. I don't know how Howard Webb's going to spin this. And what annoys me about it is, when they have a good week, they're sat there with such a stood there with such a smug grin on Michael Owen on Howard Webb's face. Oh, look at how well we did here with this obvious offside. Yeah, well, we are great, Michael. We are great. But the problem is, there's too many weekends like the one we've just had. Like, what's Howard Webb going to say to Michael Owen about that penalty? Well, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can say. He should come out and say, at the end of the day, we've probably just completely and utterly lost the integrity of the title race again with a shit decision. Poll, Enzo versus Gameres. I like it. It's Louis. Get those polls in. Either or, Enzo or Bruno G. I know where I'd go, but you can get voting first. Odegaard handball at Anfield too. Yeah, I think that has a massive impact in the game. If that handball is given at that moment in time, I think it would have been 1-0 to Liverpool, wouldn't it? Instead of having to equalise from 1-0 down. Would you take Cole Palmer to the Euros? We've done that. It's Louis. Thank you very much. Lewis says, what were your thoughts on Carragher saying it wasn't a penalty? What was his reasons for it? Because what you sometimes do get is you get a pundit like Jamie Carragher, who's well known as a Liverpool fan, and they almost try to not be biased. And I think that as a Liverpool fan, he can only be trying not to be biased there because he's employed by Sky as a pundit. Because as a Liverpool fan, I'm a Man United fan and it's a Stonewall penalty. He's got every reason to want it to be a penalty with his red-tinted glasses. And I've got every reason to think it's not a penalty as a United fan. But it is 100% a penalty. What do you think of Sky Sports and the likes running for cover for the... Wait! Good shot. Cole Palmer again, straight at the keeper. Kieran McNally says, what do you think of Sky Sports and the likes running for cover for the PGMOL and over the VAR decision? Seems like they all jump to excuse the mistakes. Well, I've said this before, Kieran. Maybe it's coincidence, but remember when Liverpool had the goal disallowed that should have been a goal? For 24 hours after that, everybody was behind Liverpool. And then Liverpool put that tweet out saying that they were going to look into like suing the league. And then suddenly, ex-players that were backing them completely changed. My theory is that the PGMOL have good relationships with the media and basically said, look, we need you to calm this down. We need some support because I don't know whether those relationships are financial or not, but they do have relationships. And, you know, you pay for Sky Sports, pay for Premier League package. We are the Premier League. I don't know what went on there, but I thought if he got the ball, it's not a penalty, says Daddy. Yeah, it's not 1972, Daddy. I was saying this to Will today. Listen to the podcast tomorrow morning because he said that. And I said, Will, getting the ball has not been a thing as a get out of jail card for about 20 years. Getting the ball doesn't mean anything. But some people still think it does. Like, some people thought there was an offside on the John Stones goal yesterday. Like, some people need to understand the rules. If I'm playing in that charity game and I get the ball with a 2-footed tackle and break the person's leg, I can't stand up and say I got the ball. I'm never going to do it in a charity game, by the way. Never going to do it in a normal game, to be honest, but never going to do it in a charity game. But you can't... Getting the ball is not justification. It's a penalty, that is. It's dangerous, it's reckless, and he's out of control. And his foot's too high. Elvis, thanks for your super chats. Appreciate that. Anyway, we've had 14 minutes here. Chelsea are leading 1-0. Funnily enough... Oh, we need to refresh this. Get excited, Chelsea fans. Get really excited, because where's Chelsea? They're not there, Mark. They're not there. They don't exist. They're not in the top 10. Shut up. I'm about to show you something. They're still not there. Why are they not there then? Oh, because they're on 40 points. Oh, yeah. You're still not... Even if you win, you're not there. Unfortunately. I've got you excited, Chelsea fans, for no reason. You're still not in the top half, even if you win. Sorry. I presumed you were. They're 11th. They're still 11th, even if they win. Yeah, sorry. Phil Jones says that was spiteful. No, it wasn't. It wasn't deliberate. I mean, look, I can be, with my comedy, quite close to the wire. Some people don't get it, but it's. I wasn't winding them up there. When will you be invited to Soccer Aid, says Flores? Sometime about never. I'll never get asked to do that. Come on. The media hate me. They can't deal with it. They can't deal with this. They can't deal with what we are. I don't know why, but they can't. Maybe someone should call the British Motoring Authority and find out if Michael Oliver has registered a new car today and possibly what type of money was used by City to buy it, says Havard. Ooh. AM United says start, bench, sell, Iniesta, Kevin De Bruyne or Modric. I would sell Modric. I would start... Iniesta, and I would bench Kevin De Bruyne. Good one. Will Gary O'Neill be anything more than a mid-table manager, says Andrew Fletcher. Mate, when you look at the last 20 years of the Premier League, being a mid-table manager as an English coach is pretty decent. If he can do any better than that, fair play. As we don't get many English managers that that do much better than mid-table. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. I don't know why they didn't go there. Hey, anyway, just talking about comedy. Some people don't get my comedy, sarcasm, but let me try this one on you, right? I was when I'm watching the football. Don't worry. So I'm going to tell it you because it's true, but it's whether you find it funny or not. I think it's hilarious. I thought it was hilarious at the time. As I've got older, I thought it was there was an element of cruelty to it, but my heart was in the right place. Basically, when I was about 20, I used to write sitcoms, like comedies. And I'm going to finish one day and just film a pilot, just as a bucket list thing. And I did it with my writing partner, who was one of my best friends, who we lived in Ireland together. So basically how that would work is we'd work on an idea. You'd write a scene, then you'd email it them. They'd spend a couple of days on it, making changes. So we'd work together, which was quite interesting. Ricky Gervais did it with Stephen Merchant. I'm not saying we were that good, but it's not unusual. And in the 60s, says Jonas. And I got that wrong. Jonas. It's Jonas. In the 60s. Yeah, I was in the 60s. I was 20 years of age. Yeah, if you believe that, then yeah, it was in the 60s, and your mum was putting it out like like everybody was. But it wasn't the 60s. I wasn't a writer on Brookside either. Newcastle are just pinging the ball around at the moment. Nothing big happening. So anyway, I used to write sitcoms with my mate. And as part of that process, there used to be a lot of sitcom competitions around in that time, in like the late 90s. So we'd end up sending them into the BBC or different production companies. And so that sets the scene. Anyway, when I moved back to England, I continued to write a bit. He continued to write a bit. And he sent me a script and he said, I'm going to send it to Talkback Productions because I think they made a few sitcoms at the time. And he sent it to me and it was good. And I went, that's really good. Are you going to send it to Talkback Productions? And he went, yeah, I sent it yesterday. So, brain moment, we'd sent one to Talkback Productions a couple of years before. So I went upstairs and I found the letter head that they'd sent as a letter. Basically, I copied the letterhead and wrote a letter back to his address a couple of weeks later saying, we really liked your sitcom. We'd love you to come to London. We think there's real potential there. We'd like you to meet some of our producers and discuss how we can build this idea out. He rang me up over the moon, said, I can't believe it. I'm coming to London. And at that moment, I realised I'd gone a little bit too far. And I went along with it. And I felt dreadful. And then I had a couple of hours thinking about it. And I thought, I can't leave it at that. So, you can't leave it at that, can you? You might have flown to London and knocked on the door. And I thought that would be funny. How far do you take it? Because if he flies over to Talkback Productions and knocks on the door and says, I'm here for a meeting, there is no meeting because I've done that. So I rang him back and I just was like, that letter? I wrote it for a laugh. Ha ha ha. And just silence. And I could tell he wasn't that happy about it. Is that comedy? I think it is. But yeah, the older I get, the more I feel bad about it. It was meant to be a progression from, I used to send Christmas card to family members and I'd say, to Rosemary, love from Janet and John and the kids. Hope you had a good year. Sarah's just gone to university. And you'd go around their house and they'd have the Christmas card up. And I'd be like, what is it about people putting a Christmas card up from somebody that doesn't bloody exist? So it's pranking, isn't it? But yeah. Chris says, terrible story before you start. Chris, why are you here? That's not, I'm sure your parents don't think that, but why are you in this chat? Like, what? this is a free live stream on YouTube. You don't have to be here. Go out and live your life, Chris. Go forth and prosper. Alex says, wondering my sign is registered under a company name and buy to be trade with my VAT, but would you want a large poster? Your choose, sell, United will compete. Well, mate, you need to rewrite that. That doesn't make any sense. Wondering my sign is registered under a company name and buy B2B trade with my VAT. But would you want a large poster, MUFC poster, your chose, sell United stand wall, can we be pulled down frame? I still don't understand that, mate. Sorry. Start, bench, sell, United stand, that's football, MGTV. You do it in the chat. I can't do that. I can do that. I'd love to know what you lot would do. Start, bench, sell, United stand, that's football, or MGTV. If you don't know what MGTV is, it's where I did that interview with Loz and I do driving with Goldbridge and stuff. So there you go. Mark, are you and that guy still friends? Best friends. I've forgotten I'd done it. I was only thinking about it the other day. I was meant to go on the Jackmate podcast and I had to cancel at the last minute. And that was one of the, he'd said, is there anything that people wouldn't believe is true that is true? And I was thinking through a load of stuff. And that was lost. I'd forgotten that story. And it was, I can't believe I did it. Everybody I've ever told that story says it's not funny. But I said, but it came from a place of comedy. So it's funny. It has to be funny. Tell me it's funny. It's not. And everyone goes, no, it's too far. It's too far. I did the letterhead and everything. Oh, we love the idea. Come to London. Oh, dear me. How do I sleep at night, eh? Let's have a look at the stats here. Chelsea are doing well. Newcastle really not creating anything at the moment. One shot, not on target. Newcastle are just having one of those nights again, and it's weird. What do you think about Newcastle this season? They are very much like a yo-yo, aren't they? We're in London, aren't we? But yeah, I felt that Newcastle might have a bit of momentum here, that they could maybe get into that race for 6th place, hunt Man United down. You know, you look at their previous results. They beat Wolves 3-0 last weekend. Not really doing anything else, to be fair. Yeah, I was just looking at their February. Got beat 4-1 by Arsenal in London. Yeah, very up and down season, Newcastle. What's your score prediction in this game, says David? I think Chelsea are going to win. They've got the early goal. Playing with confidence. Do you like the Sidemen guys? Says Ajit. I fucking hate them. You know, every minute of that Sidemen charity game is just a chore. No, I think it's amazing what they've built, and I understand like if people don't like them, but look, a lot of people don't like what the United stand or that's football or stuff like that, and I just got a lot of respect for them because it's amazing what they've built, and from my interactions with them, really nice guys as well. But I think it's amazing what they've built, and I'm always going to champion something like that that's completely and utterly self-made out of the ordinary. Yeah, so I think they've done a fantastic job, and the better beta squad as well. Seb prefers the beta squad, and we should all listen to Seb because he said tonight. He was talking to me about Harry Maguire, and he said, it is down to me that he started playing well this season. And I said, how? And he said, because I went on TalkSport and told him what he needed to do. And I said, when did you go on TalkSport? He said, you know, in your studio. I said, that wasn't TalkSport, mate. I think that was United Stand. He said, well, I went on it. He wasn't playing well. I told everyone what he needs to do well. And he started playing well. Have you started Masters of the Air on Apple? Yes, I really enjoyed it, Flores. I've really enjoyed it, actually. Just started Shogun as well, which I'm sort of like that about at the moment. Thank you very much for your super chats. Are you going to do Luton versus Bournemouth on Wednesday? No. No. I'm doing Arsenal against Porto tomorrow night. I don't think I'm going to bother Wednesday night because I just think... I don't think it grabs me enough. What's your favourite musical biopic, Mark? Can I have Walk the Line? Does that class with Joaquin Phoenix? Quite enjoyed that. Johnny Cash. LFC Gamer says, what's your favourite sitcom? Only Fools and Horses, yeah. I wonder, are Chelsea fans Poch in or out? What I don't understand is that nowhere near the pressure Eric Ten Hag is under. Well, they were singing Jose Mourinho. I think the fans are starting to turn on Poch for Chelsea. Seb in, Ten Hag out, says US. Bruno Guimaraes has beaten Endo in the poll. 57% go for Bruno Guimaraes and 43% went for Endo. There you go. I would have gone for Bruno. I think Enzo still has growth in him, but I'd go Bruno Guimaraes at the moment. I agree. What are your thoughts on the Klopp versus Pep rivalry? I think it's the best the Premier League has seen, says Fisk. I presume you were up your mum's chuff in the late 90s, because if you think Pep versus Klopp is a rivalry, you didn't see Sir Alex versus Wenger. That's the best. If Pep versus Klopp as a rivalry is a 1, then Sir Alex against Wenger is a 10. It was unbelievable. Like, you had players in the tunnel getting at each other. You had managers getting each other in press conferences and on the touchline. That was unbelievable. And it's not nostalgia, Harry. You were up your mum's chuff as well. If you'd lived it, you'd admit it. And I actually would love to have seen Pep and Klopp be a real proper rivalry. But Pep's the master of deflation. He always bigs everybody up. He won't get, and he does it on purpose because he doesn't want to get concentration taken away from the way that he wants to play football. He doesn't want his players to get, emotional. He wants to keep it robotic because it's easier to play football when you're calm. Pep doesn't want to be involved in, aggression or rivalry. It's part of his tactics. But he's right. Because if you look at Liverpool in the second half yesterday, Man City were struggling. And what happened in that second half? We started to see petulance from Man City. We started to see kicking out. Bernardo Silva could have been sent off. So he doesn't want that. Champions League pundit, start, bench, sell. Mika, Henri, JME says it's Louis. JME? Am I missing something there? Jamie Carragher, JME, yeah. I would sell Carragher, I would bench Henri, and I would start Mika Richards. I quite like Mika Richards, even though he played for City. Nate, thanks for your super chat. And Harvard says, I saw today that Manchester United are looking for a new striker. Could Jackson on Chelsea be a possibility for United? And then he's done a laughing face. Yeah, good one. Enzo's going in the book here, I think. No, he's not. Been told, don't do it again. I'll tell you what, it's a bit of a scissor tackle, that, by Enzo. Again, officiating's absolutely shit. That should have been a yellow card. Fred or Dead says, what's your thoughts on Brighton's season? It's a good season for Brighton to finish in the top 7. But I think they could have done a lot better. Shirley says, Mark should be in charge of VAR. It's embarrassing. I'd instantly do a good job, because I'd just have I'd actually do my homework, and I'd go, right, this is what a red card looks like, this is what a foul looks like. They just seem to make it up game to game, don't they? I mean, how you can not send off the Brighton player on Saturday and then send off John McGinn on a Sunday is incredible. I mean, are they not watching their colleagues referee games and having a chat? What's the best Easter egg, says Keane. I love this conversation. I've seen some interesting ones this year. They've got a Cadbury's cream egg that's half white and half chocolate instead of all chocolate. I know it's white chocolate. Nate says, what's your genuine thoughts on Arsenal-Porto? I think Arsenal will win it. I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I think Arsenal will win it. We need Arsenal to win it. If another English club goes out, we ain't going to get that extra spot. Start, bench, sell, Jackson, Werner and Jesus. Oh, I tell you what, Bucks, that's a good one. I'll sell Jackson, I'll bench Werner, and I'll start Jesus. But it's a good one. From a Liverpool fan, I think you should go on TV. You call it as it is. Great channel, says Daniel Fonseca. Thank you very much, mate. Cott says, talk more about the match and not the chat. I'll do what I always do, mate. And if you don't want to watch it, you can go. I'm keeping an eye on the game, but we're a community, and I like to talk to people while I'm watching a game that's not actually that captivating. If it hots up a bit, I'll tell you. It's not the same level as Man City Liverpool yesterday, let's put it that way. Probably because both of these teams are mid-table. Anthony Gordon might be coming off here. You worry about Anthony Gordon here. Looks like it's something to do with his knee. He doesn't fancy it. Yeah, it doesn't look good. That Newcastle assistant makes me laugh. Yeah, Gordon's coming off here. Hi, Mark. Thoughts on Endo's performance yesterday? Says Darwin. Very, very good. Very, very good. I thought Harvey Elliott played well as well. That for Gordon. I mean, people talk about him going to the Euros. I don't think. I mean, it depends how long that is going to be. Well, he's walking off. Kevin says he's been carrying a knock all half, so it's just caught up with him. Jacob Murphy's coming on. Spin says, did you see Dermot Gallagher's view on the Mac penalty on the ref's wash, swings and roundabouts? Is that what he said? Fucking hell. Well, at the end of the day, it's a Stonewall penalty, but you know what? It swings and roundabouts. I went into Tesco the other day to buy myself some Guinness Zero, and there was loads of it. The next day I went in and they'd sold out. And I thought to myself, Dermot, it swings and roundabouts. And that's what Liverpool should do. You know, sometimes you don't always get what you want. And that's life. So I'm sticking by the referees. End of the day. Hot take. I think Kai Havertz could be what Muller was for Bayern in the 2010s, playing that centre-forward role, says Santi. Very, very confident of yourself to call your own thing a hot take. But, you know, I think you might be all right on that. I think as long as Havertz isn't playing in the midfield, better. Endo or Rice? Personally, Endo. Price overperforming, says Diane. Endo from Liverpool or Rice? I think Declan Rice has done really, really well. Really, really well. Who would be your player of the year? Not just you, Diane. Who would you have as your player of the year this season? If you had to pick player of the year now, if you were in charge of giving out player of the year, who would you give player of the year to? Yeah, I'm with you, just Keevan. I think Havertz much better as a false 9. Grace would give it to Mason Mount. Foden says Josh. Steve says Foden. Van Dijk says Sam. Solanke says Keeney. Hold on, Newcastle are on the attack here. Cross comes in. Goes out. That's a corner. No, he's given a goal kick. If you going for Van Dijk, Rice or Foden, says Nigel. Endo because of his price tag, says Shirley. Rice, says Ian. Jackson says 1-9. Darwin Nunez. I don't. Watkins is a good shout. Danny Walsh. I don't think Foden deserves it. I don't. I think he's had a good season, but I really don't think a Man City player should win Player of the Year. I think it's lazy. I don't think Man City are anywhere near as good as they were last year. I don't think. I think that we need to respect Arsenal and Liverpool here. Like, Man City should be walking. I said at the start of the season, Man City had this league won by Christmas. They'd be 10 points clear at Christmas and no one would catch them. Man City have not lived up to what I expected. I still think they might win the league, but I mean, Liverpool have overachieved and Arsenal have done it again. So I think it should be going to an Arsenal or a Liverpool player. Or maybe even a Spurs player if they get 4th place, because contextually that's like winning the league. Penalty. Yellow card for Sterling. No. One thing I do not understand, says Harvard, why is there not any public conversation in the media about Bellingham's brother? He has to have some sort of deal with Madrid. People have said he's better than Jude, says Harvard. Philip Billing is Player of the Year. If you know, you know, says Goldio. Liam, thank you very much for your super chat there. I think there's interest in Bellingham's brother at Sunderland. United have been mentioned. I mean, look, I get very excited at the prospect of having 2 Bellinghams play for England and maybe both play for Real Madrid. I mean, that would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? I mean, that's got to be a first. I mean, I remember the De Boer brothers for Ajax in the Netherlands. And before you say it, I don't remember the Charltons doing it, but they didn't play for the same club team. And Jack Charlton was probably, I mean, look, I'm only saying this off stories that he said himself. Jack Charlton said, I was just a run-of-the-mill centre-back, whereas Bobby was one of the world's greatest ever players as an attacker. So it would be completely unique if we had 2 really talented midfielders who are brothers playing for England and potentially the same club team. I mean, I'd love to see it. I mean, the chances of it happening are ridiculously slim. But it would be amazing. Chelsea breaking away here. Mel says the whole Højlund situation has reached the Danish media. To their credit, they linked your video response to it as a context. Thank you very much, Mel. Young Player of the Year, Mark, says Jay. Yeah, get in the chats. Young Player of the Year, who do you think? I think Garnacho's had a very good season for Man United. I'm not saying he should win it, but I think he has had. He'd be my player of the year for Man United, so he's got to be a consideration for young player of the year. But there will be others. Hold on, Newcastle are in. Isaac, goal! What a goal! I don't normally clap opposition goals, but that finish is absolutely lovely. From that position, from that far out, that's an absolute banger. Lovely goal by Isaac. Lovely goal. Watch this back. Watch it back. Picks it up on the edge of the box. And Newcastle are back in this. Gets a bit of a space. Oh, it's a lovely goal. Look at how he uses Disasi as well. It's a tough one for the goalkeeper. It's very good finish. He uses Disasi as the, sort of where I'm going to curl it. Into the side netting. Look at this angle here. This is just brilliant. It's almost Thierry Henry. That's, if you weren't old enough to watch Thierry Henry in his prime, and Isaac's not Thierry Henry, but that sort of quality on the ball was what Henry was doing week in, week out. Like, absolutely fantastic finish that. 1-1 right on half time. Lovely goal. Lovely goal. Bradley. There's a young player of the year. Trade my Isaac goal. Stunning, says Nicolas Cage. Adogi, young player of the year, says Zach. Kwanzaa, says Marley. Well, Newcastle will be very, very happy with that. Right before half time. Goals change games. Are you having a flutter on the Cheltenham, Mark, says Goldio? No, I probably won't. I won't even watch any of it, to be honest. I went last year to Cheltenham for the first time, and it was an amazing day. It was really good. I was in a box with, who were we with? Unibet invited us down, and I was in a box with lots of other people, but who was there? Pitchside lads were there. Tom Garrett, Theo Baker was there. Rotashaw was there. Cal Freezy was there. Yeah, it was a good day. Oh, Chelsea are in again. What's the defender doing here? Jackson. Oh, he's got to score now. And he has. Oh, my God. Oh, it's offside. He can't believe it. He was ready to do the moonwalk. He's just doing a normal walk now. Offside in the build-up. I mean, to be fair, the Newcastle defender, I don't know whether it's Botman. I think it's Botman who slipped over. Yeah, he is offside. He is offside. Botman slips, Jackson finishes, but he's offside. Fire, water, earth, air. What bender would you be? Says it's Louis. I don't know what does that even mean? Bro, this guy needs to learn the offside rule, says Zach. Do you like Oasis the band, says Jamie? Yeah, I love that. Do you think Daniel Day-Lewis is the GOAT? He's a very good actor. He's a very good actor. Darwin says either or, McAllister or Odegaard. Well, I'll do it as a poll. Ooh, Odegaard. McAllister. Kevin? There you go. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. We've got Arsenal versus Porto tomorrow night. We're only 200 subscribers away from 120,000, by the way. So please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Might be able to change that number in the top left tonight. Get involved with That's Football. You're very, very welcome. Keep your questions coming in. We're about to hit half time. 4 minutes added on. Jack Ladd says, it's funny you say that because in 2020 in an interview, Isaac got asked who he bases his game on and he said Henry. We can definitely see it. Definitely see it. That's the advantage of being a little bit older, is that I've seen the Premier League from day one. In fact, I remember the first televised Premier League game. Probably going to get this wrong now, but I think Teddy Sheringham scored, and it was Spurs against Liverpool. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was, he cut inside and he hit it in the top corner, and I don't think he was wearing a Spurs shirt. Forest. Liverpool, Forest, Teddy Sheringham. I think that was the first televised Premier League game. It wasn't 1964, no, it would have been 1992. So I've you know, that's the thing. I don't want to be ageist, but these people who are in their early 20s telling you that De Bruyne is the best Premier League midfielder ever, how can you say that when you didn't see half of the Premier League because you were up your mum's chuff? You can't have. So I remember, I mean, just looking back to early Premier League games, I remember Dion Dublin breaking his leg Monday Night Football, I think it was. Or did he score for Man United on Monday Night Football on his debut? Monday Night Football was very... I mean, this is Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Football in those days, they used to get cheerleaders on the pitch. Selhurst Park with Wimbledon. Bloody hell. Those were the days. Cantona's kick. How old is the Premier League then? 24, 32? 92 is 8 plus 4, 24. Yeah. Sterling! Goal! Oh, straight at the keeper. Got a shot off. Purely Gaming says, who's the best striker of the Premier League era? Well, stats tell you it's Alan Shearer. I personally think it's Thierry Henry. I think if Thierry Henry had played the amount of games that... well, let's have a look. Premier League. Half-time. It's half-time now. Premier League top scorers... games played. All-time stats. Shearer's got 260. ...260 goals, and Thierry Henry's got 175. And Alan Shearer played 441 games. So what is it? 441, 441, 260. Thierry Henry, 175, 258. Yeah, I'm right then. Thierry Henry's the best striker. Goals to game ratio is way better. We won 4 Golden Boots as well. I don't think people realise that. I think people say Thierry Henry based on ability, but actually he won 4 Golden Boots as well, and his goals to game ratio was incredible. So it's got to be. It's got to be. Remember Tony Yeboah goals? Oh, Kiel. I remember the goal of the month tournament. You know, goal of the month. I don't even notice anymore. Goal of the month in the first 20 years of the Premier League on Match of the Day was something you look forward to. We used to get some absolute bangers. Absolute bangers. Yeah. Odegaard has beaten McAllister by 66% to 34%. End the poll. Right, let's have a look at the half-time stats. This is how it's looking at half-time. Newcastle have actually had more of the ball. They've only had 1 shot on target. Chelsea have had 4. Much better pass accuracy. I mean, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm not happy with that. You're at home at Stamford Bridge. you've got basically no real injuries that are enough to stop you playing the way you want to play. You got 42% possession to Newcastle. You know, your pass completion rate is 76%. That's not good enough. I know they've had more shots on target, but that's not good enough. What is the Chelsea plan? Because they don't have the injuries that Man United have got. And Ten Hag is constantly being asked about style of play. What's that shit? What's that all about? What's Chelsea's style of play? 42% possession at home with a 76% pass accuracy. That's crap. That's crap, mate. That's not good enough. No way. Willock is the only outfield player to remain in the Premier League from the Arsenal squad who finished 8 back-to-back. Arteta overachieved with those average players, says BB. It's Louis. Bender is, what element would you like to control? Fire, water, earth, or air? Fire. That'd be cool. Watched any good movies recently, Mark? Says Jay. I watched Napoleon on Saturday night. I thought it was all right. I think films these days are very long. That's what she said. Anyone remember Giulio Arca? Always liked him at Sunderland, says Lee Berman. I remember Ravanelli at Middlesbrough. Remember Mido? That Egyptian striker. Get some classic Premier League players in the chat. I'm loving this. Mido played for Spurs and I think he played for Middlesbrough. He was good for a little bit. What about Michu at Swansea? He was an FPL legend. Well, we were talking about Kumaz the other day, who plays for Liverpool. His dad, he was an FPL legend as well. Was it? I know he played for West Brom, but at Wigan. Yeah, he was good at Wigan. Janino was brilliant. Oh, what about that one? He was like the Wish version of King Clancy at Man City. Bolton had one. Was it Illich or someone like that? King Clancy at Man City. I liked Man City then because they were just genuinely a club that was genuine, and they were a bit shit. But King Clancy was brilliant. Like, is this little Georgian number 10, I suppose, just take on loads of players. And Bolton had one. It was a Poundland version, but I can't remember what his name was. I think his name was Illich. But, yeah, he was good. Okocha was brilliant at Bolton. He scored some... Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, goal of the month. Remember that JJ Okocha goal? Bloody hell. You don't see goals like that now. People don't shoot from there now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We don't get goals like that anymore. People don't take people on. They don't shoot from 30 yards. What about that goal for Portsmouth? What was his name? It wasn't Matty Elliott. He played centre-back for Leicester. Matty Elliott. Remember him? The bold centre-back for Leicester. I think he was their captain as well. No. It was Matty somebody. Scored an absolute belter. I can't remember. Maybe it was Matty Elliott. I can't remember what his bloody name was. Matt Taylor, that was it. Banger. Absolute banger. What's the lad from... he's on Talk Sport. Played for Charlton. Darren somebody. Oh, I can't remember his bloody name now. He scored another one as well. Keith Gillespie. Tony Yeboah Leeds, says Marky. The GOAT, Jan Vennegoor of Hesseling for Hull City, says Vin. But seems like you got a target on your back, Mark. Funny how your success of hard work upsets a lot of people. Keep it up, mate, says Callum. Mate, I don't mind being held accountable for things where I've made a mistake, but it's just, like you say, out of context, bollocks, trying to start a movement. Remember any bad injuries live, Mark, says Liam. Oh, yeah, I love them. I love them. I remember that David Boost one, but I don't know whether that was live on TV. That was a horrible, horrible tackle. Horrible. Basically, his legs planted and he got hit from both sides by two different players and his leg snapped. Yeah. Horrible tackle. I think Schmeichel was crying. April Stewart, welcome to the Members Club. Would you rather Man City or Liverpool win the league, says Kieran? As I've said before, it's got to be Man City because there's less credibility to it. Philippe Albert. Remember him, Carl? Yep, he was a good player at Newcastle. Philippe Albert. I would have forgotten about him. Rooney's not really what we're talking about, Jay. I think we all know Rooney. Steve Morrow breaking his arm. Right, if you don't know this story, right, Steve Morrow was a bit of a, bench player for Arsenal, midfielder. Playing in the, Arsenal fans will know, I think it was the 93-94 Coca-Cola Carabao Cup final. This is true, right? They win. I think Tony Adams put Steve Morrow on his shoulders, doesn't do it properly. Steve Morrow falls, breaks his collarbone, is in massive pain, getting oxygen, has to go into hospital and have an operation, whilst the rest of the Arsenal team is out on the piss. Jeremy Goss from Norwich, says Kenny. I used to love that Norwich team. I used to have these Subbuteo players. I need to get some so I can show you. So Subbuteo is these little tabletop football that you flick. And Norwich, I remember having the Norwich team. I used to always buy Subbuteo teams of people that I liked their kit. Like I had the do they call it the banana kit for Arsenal? You know, the yellow one with the black sort of arrows on it. But Norwich had this yellow one with like green flecks on it. Robert Fleck. Rule Fox. Jeremy Goss. Brian Gunn. Yeah. Morten Gantz Pedersen. I remember him, Wizard. Yep. No one really scores a lobbed goal anymore, I find, or just chipping it over a keeper. Nick P. Remember this one? Because we're at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Newcastle. Was it Cisse? Scored an absolute banger. Was it Cisse? I'm going to write it. Let's have a look. Cisse, Newcastle versus Chelsea. Papa Cisse. Let me have a look at this. Have they got it on YouTube? Yes. Papa Cisse's wonder goal against Chelsea for Newcastle. Open up another browser. Sky Sports Retro. Watch it. Look at this. Oh my Christ. No one would hit that now. He wouldn't hit this. He's basically on the left wing and he smacks it on the half volley with the inside of his foot and it just swerves up and over the goalkeeper. No one hits that. They don't hit him like that anymore. They just don't hit him like that anymore. And that's what we're talking about. SEN loved the goal of the month as well, says Josh. I can remember him hitting a couple of absolute bangers as well. Rod Wallace, Danny Wallace his brother played for Man United, or was it his cousin? Do you remember Papa Bouba Diop? Says Dan. I think he was at Fulham, wasn't he? Czech Tiote, rest in peace. Remember him? He scored a good goal against Arsenal, 4-4, but good player as well. Paul Warhurst was underrated, says Darren. That was a good Sheffield Wednesday side. Tim Cahill. Gavin Peacock. Used to score a lot of goals for Newcastle. Rob Lee. What about Rob Lee? He used to score a lot of goals for Newcastle. Ben Arthur. Love all that. Ian Wone. He scored a couple of bangers for Forest, didn't he, as well? Tell you what, talking about Forest, take a look at Stuart Pearce free kicks. Scored an apps. I remember seeing it on the telly on Match of the Day. Nottingham Forest. Let me type this in. See, I haven't seen this in years. Nottingham Forest away at Old Trafford. Just type Stuart Pearce free kick Man United. Here we go. I think, yeah, he's wearing a white kit. And bloody miles out. That's a banger, that is. Top 10 Stuart Pearce free kicks. Tell you what, he scored a good one in the FA Cup final. Who's your what's your favourite football kit ever? Says Quinton. I'll get it. I'm gonna get it. I've actually got it here. It's my favourite kit. I mean, obviously, of course, there's a bit of sentimentality, but it was always my favourite kit, and that's it. 93, 94. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's always been my favourite. I'm into... I think this was when they did the best kits, because this would have been around the same time that they did the Arsenal one with the yellow and the arrows on it, and it would have been the same time as that Norwich kit as well. So there were some good kits going around there. They don't do kits like this anymore. Don't make them like that now. Hey, look at this, what I've got as well. Premier League badge. That sort of ruins it a little bit. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. That's a proper one as well. He's got bloody loads of them. Loads of them. Because I suppose I need to ask this. He's got bloody loads of them. I've never had the answer to this question. Never had the answer to this question, right? He's got loads of them. Do players get a new top every game they play? So Marcus Rashford, the top he wore against Everton, will he wear the same one against Liverpool? Or do they get a brand new kit every time? I think they might get a brand new one every time. So you end up with about 40, 50 kits a season. They get 2 per game, says FPL. Do you remember Payet's solo goal versus Middlesbrough? You know I'm going to look it up. No, that's not what I want to look at. There we go. Oh, he curls it in, doesn't he? Yeah, it's good. It's a good goal. It's a good goal. They get a new kit every half, says Robert Ramos. Bloody hell. Don't tell Greta. You might not appreciate him, but Jari Litmanen is definitely a Premier League legend for us Finns, says Liquid. Very good at Ajax as well. Very good on Sensible Soccer. Chelsea fans, who do you guys miss more? Kante or Hazard, says Jace. Do you remember Andy Johnson? Yeah, the goalie. Didn't he nearly win the Golden Boot with Crystal Palace? SEN, loved the goal of the month. Thank you very much. Nigel, yeah, check that goal out. I have got another. I think I've shown you this one before. I don't know where it is. Did I put it up here? That's what she said. You didn't put it up here. Where did you put it? Oh, where is it? Is this it? Here it is. This is a lovely one. I mean, I can't take credit for this. I've got to say Ellis Patton for this one, but this is a lovely kit. Real Madrid. Just... It's got the stuff on the shoulder again. Real Madrid. Got the badge. Get the badge in. That's a lovely Real Madrid, and it's got a collar on it. It reminds me of an All Blacks rugby top, but guess what's on the back? That's a lovely kit. I'll be wearing some of these in the summer when I get my kit on again. I don't really wear football kits anymore. Can't forget 2012-13 Michu, 18 goals for Swansea, says Josh. Loads of points on FPL as well. Right, let me get this clock running up because we're kit time's over. Time to play the game. I've played the game. There we go. They have 2 kits per game in case of blood, says Rebecca Challenger. And Alax says, my super chat not responding, saying my site is fully selling with Company House Limited wounding. If want, get memorial moment, Man United history and poster. I know retro FC seller, says Alex. Thank you very much, pal. Appreciate that. Just drop us an email to that'sfootballmedia@gmail.com. Would you wear long sleeve or short sleeve top, says Liam. In the summer, I would want to wear short sleeve, and in the winter, I'd probably wear long sleeve. What do I prefer? Yeah, I don't want to wear long sleeve in the summer. The Cantona goal against Sunderland when he chips the keeper is probably the coldest goal and celebration I've ever seen, says Lee. It was lovely, lovely stuff. Do you remember Dele Alli's goal against Crystal Palace? Is that the one on the edge of the box? Very good, yeah. Andy Carroll bicycle kicks is out with a Turo. Yeah, things you thought you'd never exist. Clive Mendonca ran the length of the pitch to score twice after coming on for 10 minutes. It was impressive, but I was gutted, says CC. Well, we're up and running here. I mean, from this position, who do you fancy? I just feel that maybe the momentum has shifted now towards Newcastle. Yeah, we're doing Arsenal-Porto tomorrow night. Can we have a look at the league table? Don't forget, we're sponsored by OneFootball on the Stats Carousel. You can download it by scanning that QR code. In fact, I say that, and is it too small? That's not what she said. Let's have a look. That's not how we do it. That's how we do it. No, you're looking at yourself again. I'm such a twat with technology. I can't get it to work. It won't scan it. Oh yeah, it will. Does work. Yeah, download it for free. OneFootball. Get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news, links in the description. Scan the QR code. Get all your stats as well. Yeah, I fancy Newcastle now. Second half. Nick P says, do you remember Christian Vieri? I remember being shocked he was a top Italian striker and had a thick Australian accent. I do. I think he played for most of Serie A, didn't he? Definitely played for Lazio. Definitely played for Inter. Definitely played for Juventus. How many clubs did Christian Vieri? He was bloody good as well. Did he not? Did he not get injured? Or no. I'm thinking of what was the name? What was the name of the guy who played for Chelsea and basically did his knee straight away? Began with a C. Wasn't Cannavaro. Caligari. I'm never going to guess it. I'm going to have to wait for the chat. Wasn't Crespo. No, he was Italian. Casaraghi. That was it. Casaraghi. Thank you, Super Salmon. Christian Vieri is 50 now. He played for Torino, Pisa, Ravenna, Venezia, Atalanta, Juventus, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Sampdoria, Fiorentina. Bloody hell. Fiorentina, Atalanta, Sampdoria, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Venezia, Ravenna, Pisa, Torino. Played for 10 Italian clubs. And scored for them all. Never played in the Prem. That's a lot. Hope you're well, mate. Puyol versus Ramos. Noah, I would say Ramos. Yeah, easy. Chelsea on the attack. Cole Palmer. Good play. Oh, lovely cross as well. Done really well there, Cole Palmer. Stood his man up, took him to the byline, put a lovely cross in. No one gets on the end of it. Earlier this season, Michael Oliver got flown out to the UAE to ref a game, and then yesterday didn't give Liverpool a penalty against City. Is that corrupt, says Ajit? Well, it's not for me to say. I mean, that is quite... It's not going to help him, is it? But what I will say about Michael Oliver is... Let me double check this. I want to get the facts right. I think I'm right about this, right? Michael Oliver this season and the impact he's had on the title race for Man City, okay? Kovacic should have had a red card twice against Arsenal. Who was the referee? Michael Oliver. Manchester United against Man City, Manchester Derby. Rasmus Højlund barely touches Rodri in the box. We've never seen a penalty like that given since. Anthony Taylor doesn't give a penalty. Michael Oliver on VAR tells him to have a look at it and give a penalty. Yesterday, last kick of the ball, Stonewall penalty for Liverpool against Man City, no penalty given. There's probably more, but Michael Oliver and Man City, unfortunately for him, there are a lot of conspiracy theories because he does a lot of weird things against Man City. I remember years ago as well, he sent Chris Smalling off for 2 yellow cards at the Etihad. There was an incident in the same game where Joe Hart ran the length of the pitch and put his head onto the referee to argue with him. Didn't even get booked. It's not good. It's not good. As I said, it's a sham. This title race is already a sham because of the PGMOL. Here's Sterling, side netting. Any possibility that you could hire me as your personal butler? If you need water, I'll give it you. Making dinner between your matches. What will I earn, by the way, says Harvard. Well, it sounds to me like you just love to do it for free. Send your CV in. It'll make a great blog. Favourite championship mainstay, Glenn Murray for me, says Reese K. I'm too arrogant. I'm an elitist. I don't really take any notice of the championship. Thanks, Ajit. For me, some class retro footballers that come to mind are Adam Johnson and Gylfi Sigurdsson. Dali, we're not going there. Good question here from Wicked. I don't know the answer. Hi, Mark. I've always wondered why a lot of Italian clubs share their stadium with other clubs like Genoa and Sampdoria, Inter and AC Milan, Lazio and Roma. Do you know why? Efficiency. You know, you play home and away. 1 week you're at home, the next week the stadium's empty. Maybe they could build better stadiums and share the revenue. I don't know. No, but I remember the foul by Fernandinho on Pogba, and Oliver said Pogba dive. Definitely dodgy, says Kalniak. The thing is, I'm not saying it's corrupt. I'm just saying it's incompetent, and it ruins the integrity of the Premier League, unfortunately. Would you take Isaac at United? Yes. Well, we need another striker. So I'm going to take the best I can get. I mean, I'd take Ollie Watkins. I'd take Isaac. We do need another striker. We can't just have one. There's no way that Rasmus can play 3 times a week for 9 months. It's generally because Darth says it's generally because in Italy stadiums are owned by the council, not the clubs. He also gave a diving penalty to Madrid to beat Juve, says Patrick Walsh. I think Michael Oliver's beyond... I think he's untouchable. I think Anthony Taylor and Michael Oliver are untouchable. They never... I can't remember. They've been at it for years and they never, ever, ever get any major punishment or anything like that. These two teams are keeping the ball. Bad at keeping the ball, says Andy B. But there's no excuses for that yesterday. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking. Premier League greats that fell under the radar. Goal! He's done it this time. Cole Palmer. I think I've got him in my FPL. I really do think I've got him in my FPL, which would be a goal and an assist. Hold the back page. Goldbridge is going to FPL. I haven't even picked my team this week. I didn't pick it. I've got 51 points. Oh. It won't use him, though, because you can't play 2 at the back. Twat. He won't be used. He's on the bench. From excitement to despair in the space of a few seconds. He's on my fucking bench. Oh. Oh, well. Good goal. What a goal by Palmer, though. What a! I don't want to be selfish. What a goal by Palmer. Chelsea back in front. Cole Palmer. He's surely heading to the Euros. Surely. I think we went for the wrong Chelsea midfielder. Would have loved Gallagher over Mount, says Kalniak. Premier League greats that fell under the radar. Leighton Baines. Remember the whole saga with Moyes at United. He was good, Ash. He was. 2 fullbacks that United were meant to get from Everton, actually. Seamus Coleman and Leighton Baines. Oh, Sterling's in. What? Off the line. Off the line. Newcastle are hanging on here. Hi, Mark. Whenever I watch Newcastle, I remember that match when the 2 Newcastle players were fighting on the pitch. Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer, wasn't it? Get him on the plane, says Lee. What's that? Right. Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah. I mean, for United, the best result's a draw. I don't want anyone catching us. This keeper looks slow. Should have saved both, says Nicolas Cage. Dubravka. They could have gone for De Gea. I don't know why they didn't do that. They decided to stick with Dubravka. I think it was a mistake. Do you think, go back to that point, do you think Man United went for the wrong midfielder when they could have gone for Gallagher over Mount? Well, I think, in fairness to Mason Mount, he's been a bad signing, but only because he's been injured all season. The same as Lavia. He's been a bad signing. Timber has been a bad signing, but they're not really bad signings. They're just injured. It's very frustrating, and there is an element of bad signing because they're not fit, but you can't really write the players off until they start. I mean, I guarantee you Timber will be a good signing for Arsenal. I don't know. I don't get the Lavia thing at Chelsea. I really, really don't get it. I don't get how he's been out all season. Apparently, he said recently that weight will be worth it. 20 years of age, ankle problems. It's worrying, isn't it? It is worrying. Sorry, just reading about the benefits of red wine. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the benefit. Don't go start drinking it. I had a lovely bottle of red wine at the weekend, and it's Argentinian Malbec. Now that's not a signing. That's just a bottle, a type of red wine. It was lovely. I haven't had any red wine since Christmas. The reason I don't drink red wine is because no one else in the house drinks it. I like it, but if you open up a bottle, it's a whole bloody bottle. I just want a glass, but then I don't really want to drink the whole bottle. So I sort of feel like it's a waste. Start, bench, sell, Del Piero, Zola or Pirlo, says M. Tonnelly. Well, they're different types of players for a start. I would start Zola. I loved Zola. I'd bench Del Piero and I'd sell Pirlo. Parma's season can only mean one thing. Congratulations to Calvin Phillips on Euro 24 selection, says Josh. Is Calvin Phillips actually back playing games yet, or has he just been completely frozen out by West Ham? Let's have a look. 2-2 Burnley lineups. He played against Burnley. I don't know whether he played well, but he played yesterday. Started the game. I've played the game, Mark. My name's Calvin Phillips. I've played the game. Give me some credit. I've played the game. 2-2 it was. And I started the game with Soucek. And I was taken off at half time. That's not good. That's not fucking good, is it? He must have been shit or injured. Why is David Moyes? I mean, I don't want to give a story of the game, but he starts Calvin Phillips. They're 2-0 down at half time. He brings on Alvarez. It finishes 2-2. I'm not saying it's all on Calvin Phillips, but it ain't going well. It's not looking good, bruv. Wasn't for an injury either. Apparently. Reflex says Newcastle are in the mud, losing to Chelsea. Marcus Stevenson says red wine keeps, Mark. Invest in a wine bottle pump. Oh, I think I've got one of those. I got this for Christmas. Either it's one of those or an anal butt plug. Let me show you. It'd be a bit embarrassing if it's the second one. I don't know what the wife was trying to say. So, this could be very embarrassing, or it could be to do with red wine. So I got this for Christmas off my wife, and I've never used it. Here it is. Now, this is either going to be something to do with red wine, or it's going to be something sexual, but it does have wine on the back. It's called an aerator. But I don't know whether it does that keep you. What does that do? It's like you stick it in the bottle. I don't know what that does. To be continued. Doesn't vibrate, no. What does it do? What is an aerator for wine? The point of an aerator is to expose a glass of wine to oxygen. I thought it was sexual again. To expose a glass of wine to oxygen and enhance its taste and aroma. If a bottle of red says you'll... What is the point of it? Lets the wine breathe. I still don't get what the point is. I don't know. I'm a Newcastle fan. I'm about to throw a tantrum, says Brendan Rodgers. It makes me want to make a YouTube channel about ranting about the shit Shah only good player. Brandon, welcome to the world of being a big club. If you're thinking about Newcastle are growing, but roller coaster season. Careful, they'll say you've got an agenda on him, says Thomas Hopley. Who? Who's on the roster this summer for matches you don't want to watch, says Kenneth Tierney. What, for the Euros? I'm trying to build a team, but unfortunately, we're not the BBC and ITV. We can't spend millions on Gary Neville and Mika Richards and stuff. So, and in the influencer space, a lot of people do a Thogden and just go, "I'm off to Germany." What are you going to do when you're there? Well, I'm going to get press access, and then I'm going to do little clips on my Insta and go, "Look, it's Laura Woods behind me. Laura. Yeah, Thogden's just done that. So yeah, it depends how many people are going to go to Germany, because there's a few people I'm trying to use. Goran says it doesn't spoil the wine. I'm going to be doing a lot of the watch-alongs. Yeah. I really do think England are going to win the Euros. Really, really do. Yeah. Olivia, thanks very much for your super chat. I don't know who you mean, Thomas, about having an agenda against anybody. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 80 away from 120k. Smash that bottom right-hand corner and subscribe. Newcastle are about to make a double sub here. Tell you what, I think it's going to be a very interesting summer for the Euros, but I think it's going to be a very interesting summer when it comes to transfers. Obviously, I'm locked in on my club, and it's a massive summer for us, but I watch this space with Arsenal. They've had very good, expensive signings over the last couple of years. Watch this space with Liverpool, with a new manager coming in. Watch this space with Newcastle. You know, they're going to want to go again. Watch this space with Spurs. They're building a good squad. What are they going to do? M says, if you weren't a married man, would you go for Laura Woods? You can't answer that. You're clearly not a married man. You can't. No, I wouldn't. I'm very, very happy married, and I don't. The eye doth not wander. But never, ever, 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 ever answer that question like that. You're not safe with the, if you weren't married, would you fancy a bit of that? You're not. It's the same as saying, I fancy a bit of that. It's not the same as when you're on a diet and you see a cake in the shop and you go, if I wasn't on a diet, I'd love a slice of that. That's not the same as saying, if I wasn't married, I wouldn't mind having a go on that. You can't do it. That's the same as having a ride on it. Never do it. Don't fall into that trap. Never, ever, ever, ever. Start, bench, sell, Isaac Watkins Hoyland. Start Hoyland. Bench Watkins, sell Isaac. It's a good one. Oh, Thomas says, everyone's taking the mickey out of you for calling out our crap players. Careful or they'll say, you know, he's going after Calvin Phillips. Tosses the lot of them, says Thomas. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's called opinion, isn't it? I think people struggle with that. You can't say this, you can't say that. JJ, thanks for your super chat. Would you rather Liverpool or City win the league, says Alex? I'd rather Man City win it, because Liverpool are a genuine, credible rival. Who's better for Man United, Valverde, De Jong or Goretzka? Get Goretzka out. Valverde or De Jong? I still think De Jong would be very good, Edwin. Some players don't realise how short their careers are. If they don't perform, it will only hurt them. Best players perform regardless who the manager is, says Stallion. Yeah, it's true. It's true. If I was a professional footballer, I'd play every game like it's a cup final, because you just don't know. You can't hang around sacking managers thinking, oh, we need another manager. It would be ironic, wouldn't it, if a player downed tools to get rid of a manager and then the next season the proper manager comes in and they get sold, dropped or injured. Is that a good game tonight, Cole Palmer? I do like Livramento, you know. Yellow card. I thought he got the ball. Casido. I thought there was a foul before that, but I thought he got the ball here. He gets clipped by Enzo Fernandez. That's a foul, but I don't think Casido actually fouls him. Oh no, he does. Fair play. Well done, ref. Thought you got the ball. Stallion says, players don't realise how short their careers are. If they don't perform, it will only hurt them. Thank you very much. If Southgate wins the Euros, he'll get the Man United job, says Nigel. If Southgate gets the Man United job, I can't give you an analogy for what that would be like outside of football. It would be like making the Wealdstone Raider Prime Minister of England. Yeah? It would be like sacking Margot Robbie as an actress and replacing her with Susan Boyle. It would be like I don't know. I just it'd be like serving up the best Sunday roast dinner and then squirting tomato ketchup all over it. Only in 2024 could Gareth Southgate be legitimately linked with the Manchester United job. I mean, this is just the definition of a snowflake society. Like, absolutely never, ever, 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 ever. Start, bench, sell, Phil Mitchell, Ian Beale, or Ken Barlow. I will get rid of Mitchell. No, he's probably the best of the three, really. I mean, Ken Barlow, the fact that he's still alive, I almost feel like, double checking that every 10 seconds. He's in his 90s and he's still on telly. Unbelievable. I'll have what he's having. Mark, seriously, you run a YouTube channel, search for that red wine product on YouTube. Maybe there is an explanation video. I will do, Harvard. I will. It's like sacking Brad Pitt for Ian Beale, says Barry. Yep. Olympics are on this year. I will be watching it, Reese. I won't be doing a watch along. Good cross, Newcastle in the box. Oh, good clearance by Chelsea. Only 15 to go here. M says, Ken Barlow's a bit like you, Mark. You're nearly in your 90s and you're still on YouTube. What is it with people? I mean, like, I'm not really bothered, but what is it with the obsession with my height and my age, and why do people make me 3 inches smaller than I actually am and add 20 years onto what my actual age is? I mean, it's almost fascinatingly, that's not a word. It's weirdly fascinating how people want to make me smaller and older. Newcastle are on the attack. Good cross. Back post. Boom! Livramento. Deflection. Cleared. I'm not 6'4", Richard, but you're going to get the video on that this week, actually. I'm taking a tape measure into the podcast studio and we're going to film it. Mudryk! What a goal! Mudryk has arrived. Was that his moment? Was that his moment? Was that his Martin McCutcheon moment? His perfect moment? Probably his best goal he's scored for Chelsea. Opportunist, fast, direct, dribble, goal. 3-1. Harry says, what a goal. I don't know whether I want to put it in the what a goal category yet, but I want to watch it back. But it's certainly a good goal. Starts off down the wing. He's there central. It's Conor Gallagher into his path. It's a tidy goal. It's a tidy goal, that is. Tidy goal, that by Mudryk. 3-1, and that's probably going to be enough. Start, bench, sell. Voldemort, Darth Vader, Sauron. Voldemort's a bit of a crap baddie. I liked the Harry Potter films, but he's a bit of a crap baddie. You know, like when he's there going, ha, 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 Harry Potter, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, Vader would never do that. He would never try and bring comedy into being a bad guy. So Voldemort, you've been sold. Sauron, you're on the bench. very powerful, but you got arrogant. Darth Vader is definitely starting. Newcastle sack him, says Brendan Rogers. He wants to sack. How? Gustody, thanks very much for your super chat. Mudryk better than Anthony, says Mr. Bobby. Well, you're probably right, actually, at the moment. Eddie Howe getting the sack, says Joke. Well, the media won't talk about it because they only want to talk about Ten Hag. But Newcastle have lost a lot of games this season. They've lost 12. I think this will be lost 13, won't it? No, it can't be. Can't be. It'd be lost 12, wouldn't it? Who, in your opinion, was United's last decent striker? For me, it's Zlatan, says Jace. I think Martial was good when he was fit, but you're probably right. Yeah, I'm doing a video this week with a tape measure where we're in the studio in the Goldbridge Arms and we're going to measure 6 foot from the ground on a camera there, and I'm going to walk in and stand next to it, and then you're going to see. Then you're going to see. Also, if anybody watched the video I did with Loz about the kickoff and everything, part 2 is out this week. So check that out on our channel. On my channel, sorry. Looking forward to that. Ollie Rooney keeps saying, why do you hate Tyson Fury? I don't think I've ever... Well, I certainly don't. I don't know what that's... I think you're a troll, actually. I shouldn't have read it. Mourinho could be the next Newcastle manager, says JR. I wouldn't mind... You know what? Mourinho is box office. And if Newcastle want to do it, go and do it. I tell you it won't work, but I'd like to see you try. Apparently, Anana from Everton is Newcastle. No, Anana from Everton is Barcelona's #1 target. To replace Busquets. I don't think United will go for him anyway. Poor, I'm not going to say poor old Newcastle because I don't believe in that, but poor Newcastle, yeah. On the attack, though. Obviously, Anthony Gordon going off in the half didn't help. Yeah, it'll be a good one tomorrow night. Arsenal, Porto. It will be a good one. I thought it was 0-0, but obviously I remembered that Arsenal are actually losing 1-0 from that. Anana from Everton is overrated in my opinion, says Nigel. And David Boyd says, start bench sell, Baresi, Maldini, Koemans. Well, this is the sort of thing you can ask me, because I remember Koeman scoring in the 1992 Champions League final, or what was called the European Cup then, at Wembley. That was my first bit of attempt at journalism. I sat and watched that game, Barcelona against Sampdoria at Wembley, 92, in my living room. And I wrote like little notes because I was thinking about being a journalist. And Koeman, I think, scored in that. He definitely scored against bloody England in the qualifiers for the 94 World Cup. So yeah, I know all these players. I will rank them for you as somebody who saw them all play. Maldini number 1 starts. Baresi on the bench. Koeman's gets sold. And if you argue with that, you don't know what you're talking about. Start Maldini, bench Baresi, sell Koeman's. If you don't know that, you don't know football and you weren't around, you're up your mum's chuff. $30 subscribers away from 120k. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Statistically, there they are. Newcastle have still had more of the ball, but they've only had 2 shots on target to Chelsea's 7. I still think 77 pass accuracy is shit for Chelsea, by the way. But they are winning 3-1. They won't care. It's interesting, though, because I know a few Chelsea fans. One of them's my dad, actually. And I know that a few Chelsea fans are at the point where they're in that horrible position where they want Pochettino to go. And they know that results like this just keep him here longer. And they have got some winnable fixtures coming, Chelsea. So they could have a strong end to the season. Certainly going to be in another FA Cup. A cup semi-final. You'd expect them to beat Leicester on Saturday. Umzi says Chicago, LA or New York. I haven't visited any of them. I'd love to visit them all. LFC Gamer says Maldini is and was still the best great defender I've ever seen. He was brilliant. Could play left back and centre back as well. Brilliant player, Maldini. I think he is the best defender of my life. Cole Palmer's coming off. Jim says, stay clear of LA. It's the woke centre of the world. Billy says, Newcastle are rubbish this season. I love those. I love like those one. The reason I laughed is I love those one-liner reviews of something that's just multi-layered. You can't define a city in a sentence, but I love it when people try and do it. I love reading bad reviews, like on TripAdvisor and stuff like that. It's just funny what people write. I'd say what I've never read, which I think would make quite interesting reading, and you'd have to be on certain sites to do it, which I just don't do. I'd love to read reviews on things like the Rampant Rabbit, just what people would say in a couple of sentences. Ultimately, painful and not very satisfying. Review 2. Liberating, satisfying, the ride of my life. Come again. I don't know how to get this shit. Start, bench, sell. Mark, Anthony Hopkins or Anthony Matos dos Santos United. I don't know, Harvard. You do it for me. Anthony Hopkins is a great actor. I do like him. Lauren Robert was an interesting player across the year. You'd probably like New York, says Kimmy. Yeah, well, I do like Chicago. I mean, a lot of the external city shots of the Batman films is Chicago, isn't it? Although the new Batman, you know, the new Batman with Robert Pattinson in it, a lot of the external shots in that were Liverpool. Correct me if I'm wrong. And a lot of the airport scenes in the latest Mission Impossible film was actually the train station in Birmingham. And a lot of Oppenheimer was filmed in Stoke. I'm making them up now. Although this one's true. Jaws, you know Jaws, that was all filmed in a swimming pool in Norwich. That is a true story. Mark, off topic, what is your opinion on Mainu? Is he a CDM or box-to-box? Where will we use him? Says Victor. I think at the moment he's more of a number 8, yeah. But he could become a number 6. I don't think he's not going to go any further forward than that. He'll be an 8 or a 6. Gusto, what a right back. Leroy, I really liked Gusto when he was in France. United got linked to him, and I liked the look of him. And I thought when Chelsea bought him last January, they bought a really good player there. Took him a bit of time to settle in, and he's still very young. But what was the name of the other Brazilian at Middlesbrough? They had Janino, they had Ravanelli, and was it Emerson? It was Emerson, wasn't it? Yeah. Chicago deep dish pizza. I mean, this is one of the things I'd love about America because I love food. And when you're on holiday, you can just eat what you want, can't you? I mean, I wouldn't like to live there and eat it every day, but what was that? What was that Austrian player that played for Middlesbrough? Began with a P. Oh, and now you've got me thinking about the German guy. What was the German guy who played for Middlesbrough? Was it Ziegler? Ziege. Christian Ziege. Played for Liverpool as well, didn't he? Middlesbrough in Liverpool. Pogats, that's who I'm thinking about, yeah, John. Pogatetz, that's it, yeah. Christian Ziege, he played for, I think he was at Bayern Munich, Middlesbrough, and he played for Liverpool for a bit. Oh, goal! I thought he'd hit the side netting. Murphy, 3-2. Into the 90th minute. Boom, says Sally Deborah Red 7. He smacked the shit out of this. Watch this back. Murphy for Newcastle. On in the first half for Anthony Gordon. Out of nowhere. Spins Cucurella. Shouldn't score from there. Oh, the goalkeeper's got to be asking questions of that. Of himself. You shouldn't be scoring from there. I mean, it's a bloody good finish, but should you be scoring from there? It's his front post glitch a bit. I mean, he's absolutely smacked the shit out of it, really. Six minutes. We could have an exciting finish here. No stopping that, says T Bliss. I thought it was side netting as well, Fennick. Fuse Footy says, if United sign 3 players this year, who do you pick? I don't know whether I don't think I can pick the players, but I've got to have a holding midfielder. I've got to get a striker, and I've got to get a centre back. We need a lot more than that, to be honest. Oh, bloody hell! Good shot by Conor Gallagher. Keeper gets hold of it. Can Newcastle get a chance in these last 5 minutes of stoppage time? I mean, from a Chelsea point of view, you've got to look at why this game has ended up this close. Newcastle have had 3 shots on target and scored 2. Chelsea haven't even had a corner. Counter-attack FC at home, 46% possession, no corners at home. They have played counter-attacking football here. I'm very surprised Newcastle have allowed that to happen. I mean, you don't have to be counted on away from home. You can play deep yourself. That's what she said. No, she wouldn't say that. You can't go deep away from home. You're not allowed. Murphy heard what you were talking about at that, Mark, says Joel. Yeah, it was a good goal. Getting tired now, ready for bed. It's been a long day. I don't like Mondays. Busy day on a Monday. And it's not because it's the start of the week. It's actually my busiest day on a Monday. And another one, says Linda. Newcastle on the attack again. Could get a corner here. No. Keeps it in. Cross to the back post. Keeper's going to get hold of that. We've only got 3 minutes left. HPE says, what was your favourite position playing up? I thought you were going to say a position in something else then. Imagine if I'd answered it as well. Well, I like a bit of this, but, you know, on a Saturday night after a couple of drinks or, you know, a bit of yoga, I like a bit of that. I've played the game. I love football, so I was quite fortunate. I played a lot of positions. I've played left back. I never really played right back, which I was right-footed, but I played left back to get into the school team because it was the only place that was available. So I was like, I'll start there. Played centre mid, played centre back. Yeah, mainly centre back, centre midfield is what I played. At a proper competitive like games. But in training and down the park and lunch times at school, I'd always play more attacking. I used to like taking people on. I don't know why I never had a go at it, really. It's one of those regrets. I remember I used to play. We had a school first team and we had a second team, and sometimes I'd drop down and play for the second team, but I'd ask if I could play up front. I remember playing in one game up front and I scored a hat-trick. But I was never particularly fast. Many years ago. A long time ago in a faraway galaxy. Trishan says the less talented players always play further back. Yeah, that's how it works, yeah. Peter says today on things that didn't happen. Why would I make up playing for the school B team and scoring a hat-trick up front? Mate, it ain't scoring at Wembley. Harold says he despises cheese. That means you can't eat pizza, lasagna. I mean, I'm not a cheese fan, but I don't mind it. Centre back at 5'7", says Matteo. You're going to get sat down later on this week. Keep an eye out. Hi, Mark. Ahmed Diallo deleted all things United related from his socials. What do you think that means? Check out the United stand, Marshall. I spoke about it tonight, but I don't know what it means. It could be trouble. It could be nothing. Yoda says you definitely lost to Danecourt. No, 2-2. We in my final year of GCSEs, we played in 4 tournaments, and we won 3, and we got kicked out of the other one for inappropriate language. Not from me. Have you been to Surrey, Mark? It's a lovely place, Surrey. I always get it mixed up with Sussex. Is Brighton in Surrey? If it is, well done. That's a nice area. If it's not, the other one is. I think it might be Sussex. Final whistle. Chelsea with the win, 3-2. Disappointing for Newcastle. That's not a bad result for United, actually, because that means that we are still 7 points ahead of Newcastle. Chelsea, obviously, how many points have Chelsea got now then? 37, 39? Yeah, we're 8 points ahead of them. Got a cushion, which is always good with 10 to go. Can't drop any more than 6th. Well, we can, but I mean, it means that we've got a bit of a cushion there as well. Don't forget to Brighton's in Sussex. Sorry. Sussex is better than Yo. Good watch along. Really enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget tomorrow night, it's Arsenal-Porto. Big game. We'll be here 8 o'clock again. Make sure you subscribe. Smash the like on video. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll speak to you all a little bit later. Take care.